Good morning, students. Last class we looked at psychosocial development by Erik Erikson. As I told you earlier that in human life we go through different kinds of development. I mentioned about psychosocial development, intellectual development, and emotional development, and personality development. Similarly, we also have something called moral development. You all know what is moral means. It means the awareness of what is right and wrong. As simple as that. Just like Erik Erikson, is one psychologist by name Kohlbers. Kohlber did a lot of experiments, interviews. He tried to understand moral development starting with children. He was very interested in moral development. And so, based on the theory of Piaget's cognitive development or intellectual development, Kohlber developed his own theory of moral development in children. So according to his theory, moral development, there are 6 stages known as Kohlberg stages of moral development. This is a very important theory and let's go into it. Now Kohlberg is well known for an experiment he did on moral development, which is called the Heinz Dilemma. It's a very famous experiment or a story. He presented a story about a man named Heinz. Heinz's wife had a form of rare cancer and she was dying. A doctor told Heinz that a local chemist had invented a new drug that will save his wife. Heinz was very happy to hear this and went to talk to the chemist. When Heinz heard about the price of the new drug, he was really devastated because there was no way he can buy this drug because it was so expensive. He couldn't afford the drug. Heinz was worried that he couldn't afford the drug. It's 10 times the cost of the drug than the original cost. And Heinz knew that the chemist or the pharmacist was making big money from this drug. Heinz tried his best to borrow money from his friends and family, but the money was still not enough. He went back to the pharmacist and begged him to lower the price. The chemist refused to do that. Heinz knew that his wife would die without this new drug, so he broke into the chemist's office that night and stole the drug. He felt that was the only way he could save his life, so though he didn't want to, he had to steal the drug, and that night he did that. After telling Heinz's story to children in various age groups, Kohlberg asked the children what Heinz should do. Based on the children's responses, Kohlberg classified their moral reasoning into 3 levels, each of which contains 2 distinct sub-stages. Now we look at the 3 levels. The first one is pre-conventional level. The second one is conventional level, and the third one is post-conventional level. I will explain to you what this means. Now, pre-conventional levels has 2 sub-stages, obedience and self-interest. Conventional level has 2 sub-stages, conformity and law and order. Post-conventional level has social contract orientation and universal human ethics. Now, ranges are considerably not very clear in Kohlberg stages than in Piaget stages. We will also come to Piaget stages when we discuss intellectual development. And children vary quite significantly in the rate of moral development. So let's not worry about that. Coming to what is pre-conventional level. The pre-conventional stage is associated with the first two Kohlberg stages of moral development. One is obedience, the second one is self-interest. At this level, children are only interested in securing their own benefits. This is their idea of morality. They begin by avoiding punishment, quickly learn that they may secure other benefits by pleasing others or by making others happy. No other ethical concepts are available to children this young. When being asked what Heinz should do, children at this level of moral development may answer, he shouldn't steal the drug because it's bad to steal. Or they'll say, he should steal the drug because the chemist is charging too much. Or they would say, he should steal the drug because he'll feel good that he saved his wife. Or he should not steal the drug because he'll end up in prison. So these Kohlberg stages are parallel to Piaget's sensory motor stage for children, whose conceptual framework don't extend beyond their own senses and movements. The moral concepts of right and wrong would be difficult to develop. So basically, these are children, and at this level, all that they are worried about is, I should escape punishment, so I will do whatever is needed to be done so that I will not be punished. Basically, they want to please their parents, so they will not do. It's not because it's right or wrong. They will please any authority so that they will not be punished. So it's basically about either they have obedience or it's because of a self-interest. They get what they want. So it's for their own benefits. Now we will go into the conventional level. According to Kohlberg's theory of moral development, the conventional level is associated with conformity and law and order. This is the stage at which children learn about rules and authority. They learn that there are certain conventions that govern how they should and should not behave and learn to obey them. At this stage, no distinction is drawn between moral principles and legal principles. What is right is what is handed down by authority, and disobeying the rules is always by definition bad. For example, a child in the class will want to do the homework because the teacher has told that the child has to bring the homework. So there is no good and bad in this. The child has to conform to the law. There is a law, there is an order by the teacher, by a parent, that the child has to get back from play at 6 o'clock. The child will do it. So this is the conventional level. The children are older at this stage. Now, at this age, when being asked, Kohlberg asked children at this level about what Heinz should do. And their level of moral development will answer like this. He should steal the drug because he's a good husband, and a good husband will do anything to save his wife. He should not steal the drug because he's not a criminal. He should not steal the drug because it's illegal to steal. He should steal the drug to save his wife, and after that he should go to prison for the crime. So Kohlber believed that some people stay at this stage of moral reasoning for their whole lives, deriving moral principles from social or religious authority figures and never thinking about morality for themselves. Now, we'll just think and see how we can apply this in our daily lives. Now, can you imagine yourself in these two stages, the pre-conventional stage and the conventional stage? Now, how would you respond? You may also give one of these answers. And Kohlberg, as he says, some of them just stay in this level all their lives. Like if you look at these responses, maybe we also might be responding in one of these, because our belief system is influenced by our religious beliefs or by our authority figures like parents, adults. And so, however we have been influenced, that's what we will base our responses on. So if you look at it here, he shouldn't steal because he's not a criminal. He shouldn't steal because it's illegal to steal. You will see how these are all based on maybe a religious belief that says you should not steal. And so if you look at yourself as an adult, you will find that you are also responding at these levels. Now, what happens at the post-conventional level? In these two levels, actually, you will see there is no self-choice. That you're not thinking about morality for yourselves. It's always based on what you have seen in others or what you have learnt, but not the choice that you have made. Now, coming to post-conventional level, this level is associated with these Kohlberg stages of moral development: social contract orientation and universal human ethics. These are the two sub-stages in post-conventional level. Now, at this level, children have learned that there is a difference between what is right and what is wrong from a moral perspective. What is right and what is wrong according to rules. Although they often overlap, there are still times when breaking a rule is the right thing to do. Now, this age, this age would be from adolescents to adults, when being asked what Heinz should do, children at this level of moral development may answer, he should steal the drug because everyone has a right to live, regardless of the law. He should not steal the drug because the chemist deserves to get paid for his effort to develop the drug. He should steal the drug because saving life is more important than anything else. He should not steal the drug because others also have to pay for the drug. It's only fair that he pays for it as well. Now, can you see that here there is some amount of thinking and a self-choice where they've tried to balance their choices about what is right and wrong. They've looked at they've found different ways of responding. They feel even if it means going against the law, it's about the right to live, so they should steal. They've also said that, looked at the chemist's view of how he has the right also to get paid for his effort because he has developed the drug. So you will see there is a universal human ethics working here and a social contract orientation working here. Now let's compare Kohlberg's stages of moral development and Piaget's stages of cognitive development. As I said, cognition is thinking. All the Kohlberg stages of moral development are not direct parallels of Piaget's stages of cognitive development. Kohlberg was inspired by Piaget's work. By comparing these two theories, you can get a sense of how our concepts of the world around us, our descriptive concepts, influence our sense of what we ought to do in that world. Kohlber's theory. Now we looked at levels. Here, can you see that the age range and the description? I told you that each level has an age range. Now, talking about the first level, pre-conventional, I said they do everything because of need to obey and to avoid punishment and self-interest. I want something, rewards. So this age range is between infancy and preschool. Now infancy, no difference between the right thing and basically it's avoiding punishment. So it's done. If a child is hit for picking up something on the floor, the child will not do it again because it wants to avoid punishment. Self-interest at the preschool stage, interest shifts to rewards rather than punishment. So efforts is made to secure greatest benefit for oneself. Child knows he or she will get a star when it's doing its homework well, or the child will get a chocolate when its grades are good in school. So the child his self-interest of getting a chocolate or an ice cream or a star is fulfilled when the child is rewarded. So here the moral thing is not about what is right. It's either to avoid punishment or to get what it wants, get rewarded. We moving on to the second level where we said conventional level. Here the age is the school age. That's maybe from 9 to 13. Here the conformity and interpersonal accord. Where at school age, the good boy, good girl level, effort is made to secure approval and maintain friendly relations with others. Here the child wants approval to make others happy. So it will conform to its group, to his friends group, or it will conform to the teacher's orders because it wants to get a good boy, good girl recognition. So it will make all the effort to do what is expected. Again here, it's not about doing right or wrong. As long as the child gets approved for what it's doing, it will continue to do. That's the conventional level. Now, authority and social order again. Here also in the school age, orientation toward fixed rules. The purpose of morality is maintaining the social order. Interpersonal accord is expanded to include the entire society. The whole society has decided that all school children will have uniform. The child will wear the uniform. It's a fixed rule. So the child will conform to the authority and the social order. So the child will know all over school children wear uniform. Or the child will know all over children have to obey traffic rules, where they have to walk. All over they have to write exams. They have to go to school on time. So that's the conventional moral development stage. Can you see how the child learns moral development or develops into different stages of moral development? Lastly, we talked about post-conventional stage. Here it's based on two subjects of social contract and universal principles. And here the age group is between teens and adulthood. So the children have grown up to teens and till adulthood. These are the two subjects which will be helping in the moral development. What happens in social contract? It's a mutual benefit. There is reciprocal involvement. Morally right and legally right are not always the same. Utilitarian rules that make life better for everyone. Sometimes what is legally right may not be morally right. For example, hanging as a capital punishment may not be morally right because it's killing. But then it is the rules and it's a social rule. So everyone follows it. So we tend to learn, okay, we believe that killing somebody is not morally right, but it's legally right. When someone has committed a crime, they will be hanged. Coming to universal principles in adulthood, what is the development? Morality is based on principles that transcend mutual benefit. Here it's I will not harm myself or I will not harm others. So the person has come to a stage where he or she knows that I should choose to do what is right. I should choose to live in a way that will be safe both for me and for the other person. There it's a balanced development of morality where it's a universal principle. It's based on universal principles that will benefit both the person and the others. I hope you understood the moral stages. Now, if you compare with Piaget looked at, he's another psychologist who worked on studying the stages of cognitive development or intellectual development. This again is necessary for you all from an exam point of view. What did Piaget do? He also looked at developments of thinking or intelligence or cognition under each stage, what was happening. Now, he called different names. His stages were looked at as sensory motor stage, pre-operational stage, concrete operational stage, formal operational stage. Now, I hope you will get the difference that Kohlber looked at moral development. Erik Erikson looked at psychosocial development. Piaget looks at cognitive thinking or intellectual development. Now he calls the first stage, that is from birth to 2 years, is called sensory motor stage. He says at this stage coordination of senses with motor responses start, and there is a curiosity about the world, and language also starts developing. The child may start making babbling noises, cooing noises, sounds, babbling sounds, and this is the age the child also learns object permanence. Till before that, the child, what it sees is what it experiences. If the child sees a ball, it sees it and plays with it. When the ball is taken away, the child forgets about it. But when it comes to the sensory motor stage, the child, even when the ball is taken away, will remember and will search for it. That is called object permanence. For example, till the object permanence happens, the child will not be worried if the mother is away. Child will be happy with anyone else. But after certain stage, the child will understand that the mother is missing. So it will start looking for the mother, or it will start looking for the toy it was playing with. That is called object permanence. Coming to the second stage, pre-operational stage. What is happening in pre-operational stage, which is between 2 years to 7 years? Now, pre-operational stage, there is a little more of symbolic thinking, use of proper symbols to express concepts. When we say fan, the child will, when we look at the child and rotate our fingers and say fan, the child will understand what is rotating is a fan. So it starts looking at starts developing a symbolic thinking and symbols to express concepts. Imagination becomes strong, and slowly, in around 7 years, complex abstract thoughts are also developed, and conversation is also uh, develops into sentences, and the child starts expressing his thoughts through symbols and understands simple concepts and is able to converse. Coming to concrete operational stage, again we'll see how the thinking slowly moves on. This is at 7 to 11 years. Child is able to understand concepts which are concrete, like space. Child will understand the moon, the sun, and quantity are also understood, applied. But still, the child is not fully independent when it comes to concepts. It needs a little more clarity. The child can understand concrete concepts, not abstract ones. Then comes the formal operational stage. Here, the child's age group is 11 years and older. Here, the child understands theories, hypotheses, hypothetical situations, and also abstract logic and reasoning. And so, the child understands concepts better, also learns to apply it to another situation. For example, a child who is learning physics at this age will use the same physics theory to develop a toy of his own or a gadget of his own. So, at this age, the child starts applying what he has learnt. So, this is what is Piaget's stages of cognitive development. Now, there are some criticisms of Kohlber's theory of moral development. We said Kohlber talked about three principles or three stages. Like Piaget, Kohlberg also came under criticism because they feel it's more a Western theory about when it came to justice and morality, because each culture has different moral and political values. So they may not believe in all the principles of Kohlberg. So these critics say that Kohlberg's stages of moral development are Kohlberg's attempt to make his own moral beliefs appear to be psychological facts. Kohlberg's theory of moral development also seems to have a troubling normative aspect. That is, it seems to suggest that certain kinds of moral reasoning are better than others. This, of course, presupposes certain moral assumptions. So, from philosophical perspective, Kohlberg's argument is not, it's circular. Furthermore, there are some studies that indicate that children as young as 6 years old can attain vague concepts of universal ethical principles. They may be able to distinguish between a rule that says no hitting, which is a universal and moral rule, and one that says kids must sit in a circle during story time. That's more a conventional, arbitrary and non-moral concept. So children can understand even universal ethical principle at 6 years itself. Since Kohlberg's theory of moral development questions whether even teenagers can attain this level of moral reasoning, these studies throw considerable doubt on Kohlberg's conclusions. The best situation, however, may be that Kohlberg's stages of moral development describe not a one-way process of psychological growth for an individual, but a categorization of different types of moral values which may be developed and prioritized differently for different individuals' moral cultures. So basically we looked at Kohlberg's stages of moral development. Just like other developments, moral development also happens, and though there are a lot of criticisms that he may be right or wrong, but he has brought out this moral development in three levels: pre-conventional level, where it's children, but it's just obedience and self-interest that makes this stage of moral development. It's only based on these two things. They either obey to avoid punishment, or they follow something mainly because they are rewarded, so for their own self-interest. And again, conventional, it's more a conformity and law and order. This is the stage where they learn how they have to conform, again because they want to be known as good girl or good boy, and so they follow and conform. And the third one is about post-conventional, where it's more of self-choice. There is a social contract orientation, universal human ethics, and they start making their own choices about what is right and wrong. So this is what, and the whole Kohlber's moral development is based on the story of Heinz, where he didn't know what to do, and the decision he made to steal the drug to save his wife. So please don't forget and remember this story, which is the basis for Kohlber's stages of moral development. The story is Heinz Dilemma. So this will form the basis of this subject and topic. Thank you.